What's up, motherfoxers? So it's time to get the headliner Starlights wired in to a switch so I can, turn it on and off. I don't necessarily want them on all the time. There's a couple of ways we could do it. I'm kind of trying to figure that out in my mind. And we're gonna have to figure out where to mount that little box, that emits the light through the fiber optic cables. It might be a little tricky. Let me show you. Alright, there is the box right there. So all these lights are coming down here, all the fiber optic cables. Of course, I got this tied up with a zip tie so I can undo it. My initial thinking was maybe run these around and to mount this thing on this side, but I don't know if that's going to be, I don't think there's going to be enough room because this has got to run down here because the plastic's got to go over there, So I may end up wiring it or just kind of bring it down inside here somewhere. Now, there's a problem with this. There is no way to mount this. There's no holes to drill to put screws in anywhere. And the way this thing works, well, you guys see me light it up right there. It's an AC adapter. I have a 12-volt plug adapter for it. So somewhere back here, we're going to go ahead and, this is an old cigarette lighter deal I got. And I don't throw things away. It's been hanging out in an electrical box somewhere. So we'll put that to use. Same thing with this. Put a little fuse onto it. And then here is the switch. And of course it's red, right? Gotta have a red. It's a little toggle switch, rocker switch, whatever you want to call it. And this, the funny thing about this, and I shit you not, this is hilarious. The reason why I got this is because the other ones were like the ones where you drill a hole and they got these little tabs on it and you push it into the hole and it just snaps in. Didn't want one of those. I didn't want ones that had wires already wired in for you. But what I like about this thing is it has a collar on it and a big nut you can tighten it up to. That's what I wanted. And it's aluminum, man. This thing's aluminum. It's not plastic. So that's pretty freaking cool, But I shit you not, when you look on this and you try to figure out which wire is the power and which one is for the switch, I mean, obviously the black is for the negative. I look on this label, and this is what it says. I don't know about you, but I'm not used to things saying this nowadays. It says, one red to power, another red to load. So, I guess it don't matter, but that don't seem smart to me. That doesn't. Usually they specify which one is the power and which one is to the load. It just says, and another red to load. They don't really specify. So I pulled out the directions and it looks like they don't even have it in the right order. The middle one it shows here that it's the negative. Well, the negative's on the bottom. So that's hilarious. So I'm going to have to probably wire this up and test it to make sure which is which. It may not matter. I don't know. I don't know. I've never encountered a toggle switch or rocker switch, whatever you want to call it, that didn't specify which one was the load and which one was the 12 volt. So that's interesting, unless they got some kind of magical technology nowadays where it really doesn't matter. That could be, but I'm just gonna make sure. I gotta make sure, I guess. But since it says on here, 1 red to power, we'll say it's this top one, another to load. So we'll say that the middle one is to the switch. Remember this 1/8 inch? Found a use for it. Look at that. Huh? Zip tie heaven. You betcha. That ain't going anywhere. I had to put this one on because this could probably slip out of there. Now it ain't going anywhere. So I made it longer on this end. So this will be the mount spot. Let me show you. All right, see this nice beautiful hole in the whore? Love the beautiful holes in the whores. So obviously this has got to go that way. Take a couple of self-tappers. Bzz, bzz. It's all mounted up, folks. Fantastic. I will have to get some, probably some hose, some vacuum hose, put it up here. Get this in there. This will be interesting because of all the shortages here of the wire, the stuff I got, but when at the same time I got this, I got to push this up, so kind of hard for me to show you at the same time holding the camera. Here, maybe I can do this. Howdy-ho, folks. Okay. This has got to go up there. This has got to push up there. Oh, man. I got this wrapped up here. I can probably take this off, maybe give myself some more room. There we go. So there is one here that's tugging. I don't know. I think I got a problem with that whole deal. Because now I gotta try to get this hooked up to that. And see, that's just pushing down on it. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, that ain't gonna work. Everybody's got problems with their, you know, starliners, headliners. There you go. After some fitting and some insulation so it doesn't rub on anything metal, I think I might have to get in here with a piece right there, but everything else is all set. It's not mounted yet, but I figured I can put it right there. I did grab the interior plastic and put it in there, and everything seems to be fitting just fine. You know, because there is some room right here. It doesn't go completely up against there. Here's the screw hole, which is about 1 inch offset right there at least. But then there's this whole wheel hub thing here, and it seems to be fitting in there just fine. So I'll get a couple of self-tappers. I got them off the wires here too. The wires are on that inside of that plastic and they're not touching. So, but I think I can get a self-tapper in there and a self-tapper over there. It ain't as nifty and sweet how I had it tucked away in here, but that's what happens when you're out of room. And this is all, I got more padding up there so it's not going to hit anything. Got it tied off a little bit. Like I said, I think the only spot in there that it's rubbing on steel, and it's not like sharp edges or anything, it's just smooth like that right there, but I still don't want that hitting that spot because it's all, right now it's all on this insulation. That took a little bit. Even had to take the seatbelt out to fit this piece of plastic in there, but I think that'll do it, man. Holy crap. I just want to put up a switch, you know, and so I can turn this thing on. Well, what's the theme? Snowballing? I could have done my due diligence when I freaking put this on here to make sure everything there's enough room to get it somewhere. I thought I was going to end up putting it inside the trunk here, but so much for that. I think what I'll do with that cigarette lighter thing is I'll probably mount it somewhere up in here so I can easily get into there and unplug it. So if I need to service this thing, yeah, I'm not going to service it. It's going to stay there. If it dies, it dies. All right, there you go. It's mounted in there. I do got to get a screwdriver over here, by the way, to tighten that down so it don't come out. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know if I can thread that in with my finger. Probably not. No. I do got a 90-degree screwdriver I can go grab. And then right here is where we'll plug it in. Just got to run some lines to it. It does have a ground, a little spade quick connect thing there. I'll just take a wire and just put a self-tapper right in here, maybe, or up in here somewhere, and shave just a little, just to get that down raw steel for a ground. And then we'll just run one wire up to it, boom, which will be to the switch, whatever wire that will be. So, and I did put some Loctite on that bitch. There was a hole already there. I just utilized it, and just put a screw and a nut, so we should be good there. And I got way more wire than I need to plug it into there. It's actually probably like, I don't know, 4 feet long, all because I want lights up here. It's just so stupid. As if the 150 lights weren't enough. It's starting to wrinkle. Good job on that, huh? There we go. Got the little ground wire in. Sanded off the paint. And put a little dielectric grease on it to boot. You want to see something funny? We're going to go on the other side of this. Yeah, I got an entirely too long of a screw. That's all I had. Otherwise, I just got the little shorties. And it wasn't, you know, long enough. So, there we go. Alright, guys. So, here is the plugged cigarette lighter here. And this is the mirror. And I got the battery hooked up to the car. Now, the way I have this hooked up in my other car, I got my my cup holder lights right here hooked up to the illumination wire, so when the headlights come on, it comes on. I believe the illumination wire is just this blue wire here, so I'm not going to get anything off this. Oh no, that is the 12-inch, or the 12-volt. Okay, so this red and blue one, yeah, red and blue one here, that's the illumination wire. That's weird. It seemed like with a red stripe, it'd be a hot wire, but okay, whatever. You click the lights on, and yeah, see, there you go. You get voltage. Only get 9 volts. Interesting. And then you turn the lights off. There you go. So the blue one is our constant hot, so that's what we're going to tap into, and then we'll get this hooked up real quick. Okay, so I got these tapped. The wire screw is temporary, please. This is for testing purposes only. I got no power. Hopefully I got that wired up right. Remember, there was no distinguishing between the two wires of power and switch, so I got this thing hooked up back there. Got the little inline fuse on it. It's plugged in. In theory, this should power on. So I saved this just so we can see the success or embarrassment on video. Oh, we got power. We got lights. Hallelujah. Isn't that awesome? There we go. Boom. And then they go. There they're on. There they're off. Okay. That's done. Well, not really. Because I'm not going to take this out. I'm just going to drill it right in here. I got to see how much room I got between in this area and where I can put this switch. I might have to put it up here. So let me get a butt connector on here and some shrink wrap. Where am I going to put this stupid thing? Okay. Right here is a perfect spot. Problem is, The frame of this is in the way. Now I could drill right through that with no problem, but the problem is the moral part of me does not want to drill through original parts of this car. I've gone over this before. This thing I have no problem with. It's aftermarket. I don't give two shits. I put my phone in here and I could inadvertently hit this switch. When I plug it in, you know me, I'm not gonna have a plug. Plugs in the radio. Yeah, you heard my rant about that. If you have a plug out here for USB, what's the difference of wires out here or wires come from there? Who cares? You're always gonna have a wire. And I was like, well, I can put it here. There's frame there. There's still more of this original frame. The only spot to put it is right here. And I was like, well, that's better. I could, you know, think about it and lift my phone up over there. But phone moving back and forth, you could still inadvertently hit this switch. And my biggest fear is I don't notice that this button is on, and then I get out of my car, leave it for the night, or go to a car show and forget that it's on. And I'm sure it doesn't take that much voltage, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it won't kill my battery, but I don't want it running down my battery. I came to the realization in my other car where I had a USB right here. Perfect spot, plenty of room for the wiring. I put the USB there, and when I did it, I was like, hey, this is clever shit, right? Well, think about it. You're plugging a USB in it. It's sticking up, right? I totally destroyed a plug, not the plug, but the wiring, the plug that went into the plug, you know, the wiring harness. I just busted it because my arm hit it. Then after I did that, I was like, well, I guess that wasn't a smart idea. Now I got a hole there. Well, there's a plug still there. I don't use it. I use the one on there. The plug went weird on I don't know. Something went weird where they don't work right. Chinese stuff, you know. This is just a switch. And it's right there. I can see if it's on or off when I get out of the car. You'd notice it because it's a red light. And it's pretty good size to fit right there. This is the only thing I'm willing to drill in. You'll have other people to say, hey, I'll put that bitch right up there. You know, people are gonna ask, what's that button right there? You know, it's a turbo button. It's like KITT. That's probably what I'm gonna end up doing, man. But I'm gonna sit here and contemplate life for a few minutes. And I'm sorry I'm laughing again. I know somebody hates it when I laugh. I am an idiot with a camera. So if you're watching and it's entertaining, you like to make fun of me for laughing, that's on you. I don't know what else to tell you. That was pretty smart, huh? I'm pretty proud of myself for this. I'll be, you know what? I'll be back. You know, as I sit here and I was thinking about this, I thought about something. I said, you know, if you just do it, you can regret all you want, and there's nothing you can do about it. So we drilled a hole. So now we're living with it. The deed is done. The deed is done. Well, there's the button. It's got a very satisfying click. Isn't that cool? There's the beautiful starlights. Here they go. Button's off. I did my job right. Switch wire going to the cigarette lighter we mounted back here. Ground wires on there. Stuff's all tied up. You're not gonna see any of this shit. I think my next thing is I gotta get some kind of a board to put over this shit. But we did it. We got her all hooked up. Good spot for it. Looks clean. Could be a little bit more forward that way, but oh well. No regrets. Well, probably some, but nothing I can do about it. We got one of the dumbest things you could put in your car wired up. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. You do that. Later, guys.